Here we go. Let's talk about space is not real. They say how? How you says, well, I've debated with some of the brightest minds on the internet, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, physicists, theoretical physicists, quantum physicists, you know, astronomers, and all have come to the realization that I'm a lot smarter than your average Joe. I know what I'm talking about. You know, when I say space is not real, I'm not a flat earther, you know, but I do believe in a firmament. Now imagine that. How can you not be a flat earther and still believe in a firmament? I do believe the biblical descriptions of our worlds relatively accurate, and I believe science describes the same thing. I don't find a contradiction in either of the two. Right? So space is not real. What does that mean? That means there's no place where there's zero gravity. There's no place where you'll float. There's just no place like this in our environment. You will not escape our atmosphere. Our atmosphere won't stop. You won't encounter zero oxygen. None of these things are real. I challenge you to come on up and have a conversation with me, and we can talk about what it is that I believe, why I believe, what it is that you believe. But I guarantee that at the end of that conversation, we're going to come to the realization that you believe a bunch of things that aren't true, and the things that I believe is actual science. Mainstream science agrees with the things that I'm saying. So when I say space is not real, understand that what I'm telling you is real mainstream science. All scientists and physicists agree with me. And if you disagree because you hold strong and hold fast in a dogmatic belief system and your faith in the structure that you were taught in school. I understand why you make that mistake, but you make that mistake. Uh, you make that mistake with loyalty and not intellect. Science is not about your heart, it's about your mind. Science is not about your feelings, it's about the evidence. So if you do come up and have this conversation, let's have a conversation that's evidence based, fact based, definition based. Science world is only effective for those that subscribe to the science world. If you do not subscribe to this world of science, then it has no bearing, no credence, no credibility to you. Now, does that mean that you live in a fantasy world? No, not at all. What it means is that there's a club of people that use a certain method in order to determine things in their life. And they have a method that puts parameters on their way of understanding things. And we all have different groups that fit that criteria. Some are religious groups, some are philosophical groups, some are scientific groups. But the point is that none of these groups are more right than the other, have more credence than the other. And other people of science, they don't like to hear that because they believe that their evidence is proof. But evidence is not proof. And if you believe that you have truth or you have correctness, then you're not talking about science, you're talking about religion. So it's my thought that as we try to express our beliefs, our desires in this world, that we express them in a way that truly describes the reality that we live in. What do I mean by express our thoughts, wants, beliefs, desires? Well, we're humans. We all want to know where we come from, what's our purpose in life, what happens after. Those are really the big questions for all of humanity. We've come up with so many different explanations to answer these questions, yet still we don't know. Imagine that. Imagine the amount of money, the amount of research, the amount of kids that have been educated to still not have an answer to the three main questions that we want to know the answers to. Says to me that science is flawed, best, completely wrong. How can I rest my faith in something that must be falsified in order for it to work? How can I have my confidence in something that is telling me that it will never achieve 100% correctness? And the only thing I'm sure about science is that it's not right. Other than that, I have no idea if I'm doing the right thing.